Hi, godly chicks and gents. This is your girl Takyah, and I am so excited to get into today's podcast. I want to first start off by saying that today's podcast is going to be strictly for the women. So, fellas, you can listen if you want, but this is not for you. This one is for my godly chicks because we need this. We need this. In a world where men have tried to make us settle, in a world where society tells us that we should be happy with a McDonald's burger and a car ride down the street and a Netflix and chill, in a world where we are conditioned continuously and told to accept less than what we deserve and to lower our standards, while men, on the other hand, never have to lower theirs, in a world where men dog women out and get on these podcasts and platforms with so much hate in their hearts toward us that it has caused some of us to lose hope and wonder, will I ever find a good, godly man? In a world like this, I feel compelled to pour into you ladies today and lift you up and let you know that you are, without a shadow of a doubt, worthy. But before we get into today's podcast, she is worthy, I want to unpack just a little bit. Today is Wednesday, the 26th of February, and I am not doing so good today. Yesterday, oh my God, it was really rough. I prayed. I, have been pushing my plate aside. I did everything that I felt like I should do. Cried out, went to my altars, prayed for me in this situation and even this man. And I have not been able to be still and to rest in this like I have wanted to, like I feel the Lord has told me to do. And I know last Thursday night when I was recording my last podcast, My Heavenly Lover, it just came out of my mouth. I gave God a yes even while I was talking to you all. But yesterday and today, I don't know. This is it's something I've never had to do before, and I truly don't know what to do. I don't know what to think. I don't know how I am supposed to navigate this when sometimes I'm not even sure that I even want it anymore. And I thought I was done battling once I gave God a yes last week, but no, the battle continues on. And honestly, I have prayed. Like I said, I've warred in the spirit. I've pushed my plate aside. I've cried out to the Lord, and I cannot help it that I do not feel much of anything anymore, where there was once so much love in my heart. I feel nothing now, and it is truly going to take a miracle of God for God to make this beautiful to me again, because there's a level that once I reach, I don't deal with men anymore. I just don't. And it has nothing to do with the person's lifestyle or how they want to live or what they want to pursue. I don't care what people do. I've never cared. But as far as my heart is concerned, if I don't feel safe, I leave. If I don't feel like this is good for my mental health, I leave. And there is no debating with me on this. And by the time I leave any man or choose to walk away, it is well deserved. That's why I have 10 exes in my inbox now. And in the past, these men, they took my kindness for weakness. They thought that they had me, and I feel like once a man think he has you, that he doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to pursue you. He doesn't have to give you anything. Just breadcrumb you, just treat you like whatever, and just think that you are going to stay there because guess what? In his mind, he has you, and it has caused men to get extremely comfortable. But the thing is, you should be comfortable. You should be at peace. You should be at ease with your person and not to take advantage of them, but because that is just simply how it's supposed to be. But when a man is unhealed, then he takes it for granted. And the thing that men do not understand about me is that I'm there until I'm not there. I'm loving until I'm not loving. I am riding with you until I'm not riding with you. And that is what even my exes in the past did not understand, and they could not believe once I walked away from them. And some of them, it didn't even take me long, like the last man that I dated. I know I've mentioned this before, but we literally dated 6 weeks in person, and I talked to him for 2 weeks over the phone before I even allowed him to see me, because I wanted to make sure, that he was about something, right? I just don't meet up with men just because you want to meet up with me. I don't care that you want to meet up with me. If I get on the phone with you and you're talking about pure ignorance, you will not have the chance or the opportunity to meet with me in person. I just don't believe in that. I don't give my time away like that. But nevertheless, I dated him for all of 8 weeks, and when I dropped him like a bad habit, he was in shock, and he couldn't believe it because I was so kind, so goofy, so funny, so cracking jokes, so laid back, so chill, so not serious. And then he thought that he could just do whatever and that I would remain. And when I left, it shocked him. It bruised his ego, and he couldn't believe it. And that has been the story of him and a lot of men in my past. But this situation is strange because the chance to be in my presence has not yet been fully given to this man. And because of that, there is a part of me that wants to extend grace, but I cannot help the fact that my heart no longer feels safe, nor can I help the fact that I simply don't trust this anymore. And there's a big part of me that doesn't even think that he deserves this chance with me. And I've never had God tell me something and then make me stay. That is foreign to me. And when God speaks to me about a man, he has seen enough. He has weighed this man's heart. He's seen his actions. He's seen how he's treated me. And he is done. And the man has lost his privilege to be in my life. And then God tells me to leave. And I never look back. And forgiveness is not that difficult for me. I've forgiven every man in my past. I've let them all go. But it is the forgiveness and allowing a person, a man, to remain, especially in this circumstance. Well, that is something entirely different because I've never had to do this. Once God speaks, he's done. And even aside from God speaking, everything that I know about men, everything that I've studied, all the wisdom and knowledge that I've accumulated over the years makes the situation extremely uncomfortable to me. And a part of me is like, if God knew he would give this man another chance, well, why show me what you showed me on New Year's? Why come to me and say that, you were about to pass judgment, and your judgment was to take me away from him and give me to someone else? Like, why say all of those things and tell me it was dishonorable and yada yada if you knew you were going to give him another chance? Like, y'all, I am trying to understand God's reasoning behind it, but I cannot. Because honestly, I would have rather remained ignorant than to see what I saw in a vision and then to hear such a word from the Lord. I mean, I truly feel stuck right now. And it's not like I'm not trying. I am trying. But at the same time, where I was once bold and ready to love this man, I'm scared. I'm afraid. I'm doubtful. And I no longer trust it. So what am I going to do with this? Like, how on earth can I overcome this? What even is the point of causing me so much pain and grief as if I haven't already suffered enough, Lord? Like, I just don't get it. I don't know what I'm going to do, y'all. And I hate feeling double-minded like this. Like, I hate being on the fence. I hate this for us, for me and him. And I don't know how to revive this. I don't know how to resurrect my heart and my feelings for someone once I have buried them and had a mental funeral. Once my mind has decided they are no longer good for me, I don't know how to convince myself that they are good for me, especially when I have no fruit of them being good for me. Because in my life, I have trained my mind to be bigger than my heart. And albeit it has worked wonders for me in the past, when it came came to disconnecting from men because it allows me to see what a man does, see how he treats me, and ignore what he says, and pay attention to what he does over his words, his many words that mean absolutely nothing. That has been good for me in the past. But however, now it's causing me problems, because if this is truly God's will for me, then I can't just detach or disconnect as I have always done. But even still, I have found a way to detach, and I don't know how to get connected to this again. And it's just hard, and my self-worth, self-love, along with, like I said, all the knowledge and wisdom I've accumulated over the years, is like screaming, and it's drowning out the voice of God. So prayer warriors, pray for me. And if you are a witch, I'm blocking all your prayers. Just know that, and I'm sending them back to you tenfold. So, baby, it's best for you just to keep your mouth shut concerning me in this situation and just not to pray for me. But I just had to say that. But nevertheless, if y'all have time, like, please pray for me in your prayers, because this thing is still bothering me greatly, and I truly do not know what I'm going to do or how this situation is going to end. So just uplift me before the Lord, y'all. Like, for real. Anyway, moving on to today's podcast, She is Worthy. Now, today's podcast may be a little long, but it won't be as long as last week's. But give me roughly like an hour and get some paper out, get you a pen or your phone, and take you some notes, ladies, because this is going to be good. I want to start off by defining the word worthy. Worthy defines as having or showing the qualities or abilities that merit recognition in a specified way. And the second definition is a person notable or important in a particular sphere. And a synonym for worthy was the word notable. And notable defines as this: worthy of attention or notice. A person who is remarkable and important. Wow, that is just absolutely beautiful. Y'all know I'm a nerd. I just be loving definitions and deep stuff like that. Nevertheless, that is beautiful. And I want to ask you ladies a question. Do you believe you're worthy? Worthy of an agape godly love, worthy to be pursued, worthy to be adored and cared for, worthy to be protected and treated right, worthy to be in a happy and healthy relationship, and worthy to be loved by a divine lover. And the reason I have to ask you ladies this is because if you do not know your worth, then you automatically allow someone else to define it for you. And as it pertains to dating and relationships, if you live life allowing men to define your worth, you will never, and I do mean never, get the love God has for you or the love you deserve. And we cannot put the cart before the horse in this thing. And I know I've dropped some true gems this podcast season about love and how to make relationships work and how to pour into your man. But if you're settling, then all my other podcasts do not even apply to you, because you need to first work on loving yourself and building yourself up so much that you will not accept any old thing. And you need to be so drenched in the word of God and understand how Jesus feels about you, so that when a man comes offering you nothing or breadcrumbs or toxicity, you will have enough self-love in your love bank that you won't settle and say yes to a deal that will cause your entire life and heart to be bankrupt. These men are not adding to you. They're only taking away. You're not growing with them. You're being stifled. You're not becoming better. You're being bruised and abused. They're not pouring into you mentally or emotionally. They're only draining you. They're not even courting you or taking you out on dates or really paying you any attention, but yet you're still there. Something is wrong with that picture, sis. And I can tell how much you love yourself simply by how much you tolerate. And I am not here to shame anybody, but I must let you know that you, my sister, deserve better and you are worthy of better. And this leads me to point number 1, which is you are worthy of respect and honor. And not only are you worthy of respect and honor, but a healthy, happy relationship cannot even function without it. You have to treat your man with respect, and he has to treat you with respect as well. But if a man tells you that he doesn't respect you, or he shows you that he doesn't respect you or value you, then you need to leave. Because once a man sees you as a woman who is not deserving of his respect, there truly is nothing you can do to earn it. There's nothing you can do about it. He has already sized you up, seen what you can add to his life or what you don't add to his life, and he has made a conscious decision about you. And no amount of sex will change his mind. No amount of begging and pleading will change his mind. No ultimatum will change his mind. No amount of buying him gifts or giving him money can change his mind. And no number of babies can change his mind. And you see that with the story of Jacob and Leah, who was Rachel's sister. The Bible says that while Rachel had Jacob's heart and was loved greatly by Jacob, Leah was hated all the more. And with everything Leah did, Jacob still hated her. With every child she had, she said to herself, now he will love me and respect me, and he never did. Girlfriend was 6 children in and still saying, surely this one will make him love me. Surely this one will make him respect me and see me. And he never did. Perhaps Jacob was angry about the manipulation of being married to her in the first place when he only wanted Rachel. Perhaps he thought she wasn't attractive. Perhaps he didn't like her personality, or all of the above. But whatever it was that made Jacob dislike her, to the point that the Bible says God saw that Leah was hated, so he opened up her womb. So to the point of where God even sees how much she's hated. Whatever it was, it didn't matter how many children she had, what she did, how much sex she had with him. He would never love her or respect her like he did Rachel, because his mind was made up and there was nothing she could do to change it. And if you don't know if a man respects you or not, or you're confused about this point, then here are some questions to ask yourself. And I want you to get the man that you're dating in your mind as you ask yourself these questions. Number 1, does he take me for granted? Number 2, does he treat me like I'm dispensable? Number 3, does he treat me poorly? Number 4, does he value my emotions, my feelings and concerns, or does he ignore me? And number 5, does he belittle me? And the reason you need to ask yourself these questions is because they truly help you to bring things into perspective. Because if you don't have respect, the relationship can easily become one-sided and very toxic, where you're performing and behaving just like Leah was, and you're getting nothing out of it. And I don't care what your girlfriends say and what kind of bad advice they give you, such as, well, having a man is better than having no man at all. I don't care what you have heard, because when it all boils down to it, without respect, love alone isn't enough to sustain a healthy and meaningful relationship. And the thing I want you ladies to understand is that you cannot control how a man feels about you. Either he likes you or he doesn't. Either he wants you or he doesn't. Either he respects you or he doesn't. You cannot control how he feels. You cannot control disrespect. But what you can control is how long you tolerate it. Number 2, you are worthy of kindness and a man being gentle with you. Kindness in relationships is about showing a person how much you care. It's being considerate of them and having compassion towards them, and not just through your words, but through your actions as well. It's treating a person with warmth, patience, and generosity, even during difficult moments. And if you don't know what kindness and a man being gentle with you in your heart looks like, then I want to explain to you really briefly what you need to expect from a man who's courting you. When a man is kind to you, he's thoughtful. He's doing small things to make you feel loved and valued. And even though grand gestures are cool, it doesn't have to always be that. It can be something as simple as ordering you a coffee, or sending you your favorite flowers to your job, or checking in on you and praying for you and making sure you got home safely. It's him encouraging you and uplifting you when you're struggling. It's him coming through for you without you even having to ask. It's him being patient with you and understanding. It's the everyday moments of care and respect that he does to show you just how much he cares for you. And it's those moments that truly strengthens a relationship. And the reason I want you ladies to pay attention to how a man handles you is because in his treatment of you, you will see just how much he thinks you're worth. Number 3, you are worthy of being courted right and treated right. I gotta say that again. Sis, you are worthy of being courted right and treated right. The reason I said that twice is because society and so many toxic platforms, along with the terrible mindsets of so many men today, I mean, it's awful, have caused some of you to shrink back on what you truly desire in a man. You desire great things, right? But society is telling you not to desire it. You desire to be adored, but society is telling you not to desire it. You desire for a man to text you and say, hey, baby, I'm picking you up at 7 tonight. I got a surprise for you, baby girl. And, you know, there's a package outside your door. You know what I'm saying? And he's spitting that game and he didn't surprise you. And you go outside and there's flowers on your steps as well as a box. And you open it up and your man has bought you this bomb dress and heels, and you're screaming and shouting and jumping up and down and feeling so loved. And then he picks you up on time like he said, and you guys go out and he's got this boat ride already paid for and planned for the two of you. So y'all riding out on the ocean late at night under the moonlight. Then you get off of the boat ride and he's got this nice dinner planned for you at a nice restaurant, and you guys have the time of your life, and you go home and cry all that night praising God for giving you a man who was so mindful of you. But when you start talking to these men, they convince you to lower your standards. They tell you, I ain't doing all that. You got me messed up. Okay, well, if I'ma do all that, then what you gonna do for me? How you gonna pursue me? And you feel like you want to throw up, right? Just from listening to them. I mean, it's absolute bananas, because they want princess treatment. They want to be pursued and not the pursuer, because they're ignorant and they do not know that as they take care of you, you naturally take care of them. But they do not know that. And yet some of you have bought into this toxic lie, and you say to yourself, well, it's better to have him than no one at all. But he treats you with contempt. He doesn't pursue you. He doesn't court you. And in some instances, he doesn't even like you. And I hate hearing some of these stories that you ladies inbox with me. I'm sorry, but I just got to say it, because I say to myself when I'm listening to y'all, doesn't she know she's worthy? And in most cases, it's not even that you're asking for too much. It's that you're asking the wrong man. Because when a man really likes you, sis, he will pursue you with respect, consistency, and genuine effort. And he won't be playing games with you, nor will he start hinting at sex as soon as the two of you get on the phone. I mean, this y'all's second, third conversation, he already talking to you about sex and what he wants to do with you sexually. No, ma'am. A man who really likes you you will follow through on his words with actions. He will not be hot and cold with you. He will make an effort to spend time with you. He will make plans and take the initiative rather than expecting you to do all of the work. He will find small ways to show you he cares, such as thoughtful messages, surprises, or simply being present in the moment with you. He will invest in the relationship emotionally, and not just with grand gestures, like I said, but with consistent care. Because a man can give you a grand gesture and it could not mean absolutely anything to him. He can take you out on a trip out the country, but then ghost you as soon as he gets back. So a grand gesture means rarely anything. He's done it with all of the women before you, sis. So that's not what you're looking for. What you're looking for is that daily affection and interest, knowing your favorite color, knowing what hobbies you like to partake in, taking time out of his schedule to make room for you, calling you just to say, baby, I just had to hear your voice tonight. Good night, girl. You know what I'm saying? You're looking for consistency. And the right man's pursuit of you will feel safe, exciting, godly, and natural. And it shouldn't feel like a chase on your side or his, but it should be healthy and feel like a connection that is beautiful and growing every day because the two of you want it to grow. But being a pick-me will never, ever get you the results you desire. Lowering your standards and your wants will never make a man see your worth or say, oh, she's not that expensive. Let me go over there and treat her like a queen because she doesn't require much. I'm going to reward her for being an easy woman. No, being a pick-me and being one of those women who allow men to treat you any kind of way gets you disrespected. It gets you laughed at as he brags to his boys about how he was able to get you in bed with a taco from Taco Bell and a car ride down the street. It gets you ghosted once he's done using you. It gets you used continuously over and over and over again, and telling men, I'm low maintenance. I don't ask for nothing. I'm an easy woman. It's not the flex that you think it is, sis. In fact, it's not a flex at all, because he'll spend thousands of dollars on another woman, but because you're easy and don't want anything and all like, I'm just happy he's in my life. I'm happy he's here. The good Lord didn't send me a man and I'm happy to have him around. He'll spend $50 on you and watch you jump up and down and praise him like he done did something because you made him think he didn't have to do anything to get you because you were so low maintenance. So being a pick-me is not what you want to be, sis, because a pick-me is a woman who chooses struggle and neglect and calls it love. She mistakes suffering for loyalty, endurance for worth, and broken men for projects. She was never adequately loved, so she accepts anything. She has no boundaries, no standards, just blind devotion to men who bring her nothing but balls and mountains of excuses and dusty bums. Love it. But one thing I want to be very clear on is that a real woman, we don't build men. We stand beside a man who has already built himself, and we encourage them, and we believe in them, and we pour into them. And if he needs to be picked up, or when he needs to be picked up, we help them and we pick them up. But we're not sacrificing our worth, our body, and our mental health and emotional well-being just to be in a relationship with a man. We're just not doing it. And before I go to the next point, I have to say this. A man's treatment of you is not about you. It's about them. Because some men tear down what they do not understand and what they cannot handle. But just because they can't handle you or understand you does not mean it is your job to shrink. And I know it hurts to walk away from someone who you really wanted, or to walk away from something that you really wanted to work, right? Because the potential was there. But if a man cannot even take you out to eat, if a man cannot even buy you some flowers or send you a text to check up on you, that's bottom level courting, ladies. That's bottom level. And if he cannot even do that, then you need to bounce and stop tolerating dishonor and disrespect, because regardless to how he treats you and has tried to demean you, you gotta know that you're still worthy, valuable, and deserving of real love, and you are going to get it. But sometimes you have to walk away and let God handle a person, and you have to be confident and know that the right man will never make you feel like you're asking for too much in the beginning anyway. He will never make you feel like you're too much or that you're not enough. And that is the difference between a man who really likes you and wants to court you and a man who does not. Number 4, you are worthy of emotional intimacy and openness. It is not hard for men to communicate, ladies. That's one thing that I need you to understand. It is not hard for a man to communicate, but it is hard for them to communicate with a woman they do not love. And what I feel women all around the world neglect is the fact that a man will do everything that you're asking him to do, and he will do it freely and happily for the woman he actually loves. So if he's not the best communicator, guess what? He's going to take a class. He's going to go out and buy him a book and try to learn how to communicate. If he's not that open and closed off, he's going to practice being open with you, try to get deep with you, and fight with himself to be whatever it is that you need him to be. I've seen men change too many times for the woman they love to let you ladies stay in ignorance and accept anything just because a man is telling you he's incapable of doing it. No, ma'am. If he's not giving you emotional intimacy, it's because he doesn't want you to have it. It's because he doesn't want to give it to you. And I know it hurts to hear this because it's a slap of reality and of knowing that the man you've just wasted years or many months on does not like you like that. He doesn't like you like him, right? But it is better to know this now than later. And I honestly don't even know how women stay in a relationship where there is no emotional intimacy and openness and depth. Like me personally, I crave depth. I'm always trying to get an understanding about something. I'm always trying to look at the bigger picture. I'm always trying to go deeper. I love that openness and being intimate with my man and truly building up a beautiful relationship that feels like we're moving like one. Like, what was that thing they said off Drumline? One band, one sound. I desire a relationship where I'm with my man and we're moving like that, one band, one sound. But you cannot get there without intimacy, because if the intimacy is not there, then it is nothing more than a shallow relationship. And as women, we need emotional intimacy. We need that. But before you can receive it, you have to first realize that you need it and stop settling for men who cannot provide a safe space for your heart to rest, because you need intimacy in order to make any relationship work. You need open and honest communication where you feel like you can talk about anything with your man, even childhood traumas and difficult topics without the fear of rejection. You need vulnerability where you feel comfortable expressing your true emotions, knowing that they will be met with understanding and not ridicule. You need trust and security where you feel safe and you believe in your man's intentions for you and don't feel the need to constantly question his actions because he's made it clear how he feels about you. You need to be with a man where there is a deep understanding, like you just get each other on a level that goes beyond words, a level that is so deep that even by looking at him, sometimes you just know exactly how he's feeling. You know exactly how he's thinking. And because you're so in sync with each other, you're able to minister to his spirit and he's able to do the same for you. You need emotional safety where you can freely express your needs, your fears, and your insecurities without him making you feel ashamed or invalidated and without him shutting down. And what I don't want you ladies to do is to take a man shutting shutting down on you and becoming quiet and not letting you in as some type of challenge. Because like I said before, he's not shutting down because he can't be open or communicate. It's simply because you're trying to access a level of his heart that he doesn't want you to access. You're trying to get on a level he doesn't want you to be on, and he shuts down to threaten you in the hopes that you won't dare ask him to open up to you again, because he's already decided your place in his life. And when you see this behavior from a man that you're dating, that you're talking to, and you're trying to climb the walls of his heart and beat down these doors and tell him to let you in, you have to be real with yourself, and you have to put on your big girl panties, realize what's going on, and then move on. Because God has a man for you who will make communication seem as smooth as butter, and you will not have to beg for him to open up to you, but he will do it freely because he wants you to get in his heart, because he loves you just like you love him. I'm sorry, I just don't believe it takes all of that, all of this battling, all of this trying to get in his heart, all of this begging, all of this. But if he would just communicate and you're crying, I don't believe it. Love is not a battle. It's not a battle, sis. And if you find yourself fighting for him to communicate with you, fighting for him to treat you right, fighting for him to open up to you, and fighting for your place in his life, then you've already lost. Number 5, you are worthy of loyalty. I was reading a post on Instagram a while ago, and it had Ice Cube on one side with his beautiful wife and Morris Chestnut on the other with his. And both of these men have been married for 20 to 30 years with their wives. I believe 30, honestly, for both of them. It's been 30 or more. Nevertheless, both of these men have been married for 30 plus years with their wives, and the post was proclaiming that neither of them have ever cheated on their wives. 30 plus years, both handsome, fine men. And Morris, baby, he still fine to this day, okay? Both successful men, both in an industry where the world has conditioned people that cheating is inevitable. I mean, Morris Chestnut has even played acting roles where he even had to kiss other women. Yet 30-something years later, he's still faithful. And it's so sad because you have had pastors who have cheated on their wives continuously, not just once and a mistake. And like I said, it's really not a mistake. It's a conscious decision, a conscious choice. But nevertheless, they've cheated on their wives continuously. Gospel artists who have cheated on their wives. And so many men of God who make so many excuses as to why they can't be loyal. Oh, it was the devil. It was this. It was that. Yet you have men who don't profess to be anything in the church, anything within the cloth or the faith. You have them being loyal in a way that a lot of men of God who say they are even Holy Ghost filled make it seem like it's so hard to do. And there is a huge disconnect with that. And I don't want to tarry there because that is truly a story for another day. But regardless of what society tries to tell us about men and that they can't be faithful and it's so hard out here for them and they just need sex, as if it's not hard for us as well, as if we don't need sex or intimacy as well. I mean, the way some of these men pursue us and try to flirt with us is insane. Y'all, I literally go to the store wearing leggings, a tank top, and my hair wrapped up in a bun, and 2-3 men in the store will chase me out the door. So they act like we don't go through the same things. Nevertheless, regardless of what these people who have no self-control try to tell you, and regardless of how they make excuses for their bad behavior, those two men, and they are not the only ones, but those two men have shown you, even in the field that they're in, that when a man wants to be faithful to you, when he wants to be kept and he wants to be loyal, he can. And you are deserving and so worthy of it. You're worthy of faithfulness and a man being considerate of you, where he doesn't even put himself in compromising situations or even entertain other women hitting on him, because he knows what he has at home. He knows what he has, and he knows how much it would hurt you if he did. You're worthy of a man being honest with you rather than hiding things and making sure he never leaves his phone down around you, because if he does, another woman will be texting him in 2 seconds flat. You're worthy of a man honoring you in your absence just as much as he does in your presence. You're worthy of a man prioritizing you so much that the minute he even feels another woman trying to get at him, he quickly tells her, hey, I'm taking, girl. I'm good on you. Like, nah, I'm good. You're worthy of a man posting you on his socials if that's what you desire, and taking pictures with you because he don't care what other woman sees, because he knows you're the only woman for him, and he will hurt another woman's feelings to protect yours. You are worthy of that. I mean, some of the things you women allow is so degrading and demeaning. This man can't take a picture with you or post you on anything, but he can enter inside of you. He can enter into your temple that God said is holy, and he can, excuse my French, but come all over you and treat you like a prostitute, but he can't be seen with you or take a photo with you, or he can't introduce you to his family. That is utter foolishness. You're worthy of a man who makes choices that strengthens your bond and your trust in him rather than weaken it. You're worthy, sis. And just like you need emotional intimacy, you need loyalty, because loyalty creates trust, emotional security, and long-term stability. And without it, doubts and insecurities can take over very quickly and make your relationship feel fragile and unsafe. And true loyalty isn't just about avoiding betrayal or him being loyal as long as you're around, but it's about him actively choosing you every day and being considerate enough to think about how his actions would affect the bond and the relationship the two of you have together. He thinks about what the two of you are building and how this action he's about to take could destroy it all. And he says to himself, nah, man, it's not even worth it. And that, sis, a man being loyal to you should be non-negotiable, because the stress of having to always wonder if you have your man's heart fully or does another woman have it is a pain that's unbearable. And over time, it will weigh down your mental psyche. And I don't care how strong of a woman you are, having your man be with woman after woman and choosing to disrespect you over and over again, it can destroy your mind. And sis, you don't deserve that. You deserve peace, and you deserve someone who will be just as loyal as you and who considers you just like you consider them. Number 6, you are worthy of protection. The word protection defines as the act of keeping someone or something safe from harm, loss, or injury. The state of being protected. When a man protects you in a relationship, it isn't just physical protection, but it's also him protecting you emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And it isn't about control or him watching you like a hawk or being angry, because you said hi to another man. No, that's not protection. That's not what I'm talking about. It's about him making you feel safe, cherished, and respected. And he does this by providing a safe space for your heart. He does this by supporting your feelings and validating them rather than dismissing them. He does this by assuring your safety, like walking you to your car, making sure you get home safe, and looking out for you. He does this by defending you and standing up for you if someone tries to disrespect you, even if that person is his family member or friend. He does this by praying for you and providing stability for you. And the Bible even talks about how we are the weaker vessel and we are meant to be protected by men. not used by them. We are meant to have a soft life where we don't even have to worry about certain things because, baby, our man got it taken care of. Okay, baby, I ain't even got to lift a finger because Zaddy already got it. Zaddy is doing his thing. And I can be, the woman I need to be and chill, baby, because, baby, daddy got me and I'm good. And when a man takes care of you like that, you can easily take care of him and nurture him and pour into him and pray for him and love him and happily and willfully make love to him because he has taken the precious from life off of you by shielding you, caring for you, protecting you, and providing for you. And there's so many other ways that a man can protect you, but the underlining theme of it all is how safe he makes you feel. If your boundaries are crossed, if you're being belittled and made to feel small, if you feel like an afterthought rather than a priority, if you sense dishonesty, if you feel unheard and emotionally neglected, if he allows his friends and family members to continuously take jabs at you and he doesn't defend you, or worse, he himself disrespects you, if you feel like you're walking on eggshells, that is not a safe space for you. And you will never, ever, ever, ever grow in a relationship like that. And sometimes you truly have to look at these men and say to yourself, my future husband would never treat me like this, and then move on with your life. And last, but most certainly not least, number 7, you are deserving and so worthy of love. Not a sometimey love, not a wishy-washy love, not a here with you today and then over there with Kiki and Veronica tomorrow type of love, not a walking on eggshells love where you have to pretend and be perfect all the time and you can't even let your guard down or be yourself, but a real agape, heavenly, divine love. A love that wakes up and chooses you every day. And when the initial excitement of the relationship fades, he still chooses you. A love that loves you not just for what you offer, but for who you truly are. A love that stands by you through the ups and the downs of life. And a love that's not just there for the happy moments. A love that feels safe and secure without the fear of betrayal. A love that is faithful to you in heart, mind, and actions. A love that accepts you without nitpicking and belittling you and trying to change everything about you. A love that values you and is careful with you. A love that works through problems instead of running away and shutting down. A love that makes time for you and shows up for you. A love that is not causing you unnecessary pain. A love that feels like home and brings you peace. A love you can run to and know, my heart is safe in this man's hands and I don't have to worry about nothing. You are worthy of that kind of love. You're worthy, sis. And real love isn't perfect, but when it's real, both people are willing to nurture and protect it. It's not just a feeling, but it's a choice to love, respect, and cherish each other every day. And you're worthy of it. You are too valuable to accept breadcrumbs when God has a feast and a beautiful marriage prepared for you. You are worthy of real love, real effort, real pursuit, and real commitment. And when you understand that men are simple creatures who pursue relentlessly, give generously, move vertically, and guard fiercely the woman they want and desire, then you can compare everything I've told you today to how the man you're talking to is treating you now. And if you're not married to him and he's doing nothing for you that I told you you were worthy of on today's podcast, then it's time to leave. It's time to pray. Ask the Lord to give you a way of escape. Sever the soul tie. And it's time to move on. And you need to do it before this fake, false, demeaning love makes you forget what real love looks like. And you start to think that this treatment is all you deserve, because it's not what you deserve. And the right man won't leave you guessing. The right man won't make you beg for love. The right man won't make you explain why consistency matters. The right man won't make you feel like you need to earn his love. The right man won't make you feel like you need to do a circus act and perform before he's convinced about you. The right man won't neglect you. And one day you'll look back and realize the truth, that it was never about you. It wasn't that you weren't enough. It wasn't that you loved too hard. It wasn't that you should have tried more. But it's the simple fact that you were trying to offer depth to someone who fears drowning, and someone who's used to swimming in the shallow end of the love pool. And the moment you stop trying to bring them deeper, the moment you stop trying to take them higher, and the moment you stop trying to show them a better way and save them, that will be the moment you save yourself. Because men know what they want and what they don't want. And all of this wait and see, or I'm just not ready, is nothing but jibber jabber. It's malarkey. And I speak both languages, jibber jabber and malarkey, very well. And I'm going to translate the jibber jabber for you. It simply means that he does not want you. That's it. There is no nuance there, because a man who truly likes you will not risk you being snatched up by another man. And whatever he has to move around in his life to make sure he doesn't miss out on you, he will move it around. He is not dragging his feet when it comes to you, because just like he can see your value and your worth, he knows that other men can see it too. And anything less than unrelenting pressure in pursuit of you is an insult to you as God's daughter. And God says, you are a ruby. You are a jewel that is hard to find. You are literally favor from God, boxed up and wrapped up. You are a whole gift. You're a whole gift, sis. And I want to read this scripture, and then I'm going to do something a little bit different. I feel compelled to pray. So I'm going to pray, and then I'm going to let you ladies go. But first, let me read these two scriptures that I just pulled up. The first one being Proverbs 31, verses 10 through 12. A wife of noble character, who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. And Proverbs 18:22, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. And that word good things in other translations translates to the word treasure. So there it is again, sis. God is calling you a ruby, a treasure, a good thing that adds favor to a man's life. And it even says that the man who is with you won't lack anything. So you are a lack propeller. You add value to his life, and he can be confident in you because you will bring him good all the days of his life. You are a magnet for goodness. And when you have been processed by the Lord, when you have been proven by the Lord, and he has said to you that you are ready to be married, just like I told y'all that he said to me back in the summertime or springtime of 2022. I can't remember exactly, but I do believe it was the summertime of 2022. When he has said you are ready to be married, that is what God is saying about you. He's saying you're a literal jewel. You're a whole diamond and a ruby, and not the ones that are in the front where everyone is touched and, men have come in and played around with it and then set it right back down. No, I am not talking about those diamonds and jewels that everyone can pick up and touch at free will. I am talking about The diamonds and the jewels in the back, the ones in the vault in the back of the store where the store owner has to get a key and a code just to access them. The ones that's wrapped up and kept only for men who can actually afford them and handle them. That is what you are. When you have allowed God to mold you into a wife, you're literally a jewel in literal favor, wrapped up in a box with the glory of God guarding you and surrounding you and protecting you. And even while you're waiting, I don't want you ladies to get weary in the wait, because God is not going to give you to any old thing. He is not going to give you to anybody. He is not going to just let any man who sees you and says, I want to get her, and they try to come into God's store and take you. He's just not going to let them have you like that. He's not doing it. He's going to say, nah, brother, I need to see your credit first. I need to see your history with the banks, your job. I need to see some check stubs. Can you afford her? What do you do for a living? And just like a manager is going to be thorough when selling this diamond he has in the back with a customer who's interested, so will God be when he's giving you away to a man. He's going to look at this man's character. He's going to look at the core of his heart. He's going to look at how he treats people. Does he walk with integrity? Does he even honor God? Does he even obey God? Does he even follow God? And I don't mean with the words, because many men speak good with their words. It's like they're almost trained, from birth to be a good speaker and to be very good and manipulative with words. A man has the gift to say a whole lot of something and yet do a whole lot of nothing. That's why at times I despise words, and that's why they mean absolutely nothing to me, and they don't mean anything to Jesus either. That's why he said in Matthew 15 verse 8, these people draw near to me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. And in John 14:15, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. That is the only way that Jesus knows that a person truly loves him and truly follows him, by picking up their cross. So even Jesus is not paying attention to many words, and because he doesn't, I don't either. Nevertheless, God is guarding you, and he is not going to let anyone have you just because they want to. It doesn't work like that. They have to show themselves to God as someone who can be trusted with you, because God does not play about you, sis. And if he has you protected and locked up in a safe, then you have to trust that he's not going to take you out of that safe place until he knows he can give you to a man who will truly love you and take care of you like the jewel you are. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, I come before you today asking that you open the eyes of the women today to the true value and worth you have placed within them as women. Remind them that they are fearfully and wonderfully made in your image, and that their identity is not defined by the world's standards or by a relationship or by what a man thinks of them, but it is defined by your word and your love and your grace. Grant them the strength to silence any negative voices and to embrace the unique path you have laid out for them concerning their marital destinies. I pray they trust you above their emotions, feelings, and desires, and I pray you will strengthen them on the lonely nights and comfort them through your Holy Spirit. Help them not to settle for less than what you desire for them, and help them to walk as the women of God you have called them to be, and to hold their head high. Speak to them and let them know you haven't forgotten them, and when the time is right, I ask that you will restore their hearts with the love that was sent from heaven, and a love that was truly worth the wait. Give them a man who will knock their socks off and sweep them off their feet. Give them a man who comes into their life and is considerate of them and loves them effortlessly. Give them a man who wants to lead them and protect them. Give them a man who has been approved by you and processed by you. Give them a man who will not make them question their value or their worth, but will see them clearly from the very beginning. Give them a love that they didn't have to suffer for first before they obtained it. Give them a love that did not bring sorrow to them, but brought peace to them. For you said in your word that you give blessings without sorrow. Give them a love that sacrifices for them like Jesus did for his bride, that loves them like Jacob loved Rachel, and that protects and provides for them like Boaz did Ruth. Help them to know that their time of true love is coming, and give them the strength to wait on that time. And Lord, I pray that every day as they get in your word and pray and worship and spend time with you, I pray that they will allow you to build them up and restore their confidence. And I pray they know just how worthy they are. In the mighty name of Jesus, I pray. All right, Godly Chicks, I love you ladies, and I pray that this podcast bless you. Please, please, please share this with another woman, because we need to know how worthy we are, and we need to know that God is capable and able to provide us with a man who knows how worthy we are as well. I love you ladies, and I will see you guys next week in our final podcast of the season. Our finale is going to be amazing. Until next time, I love you ladies, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Godly Chick podcast. Tune in next Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear the continuation of Season 2, where we will be discussing topics and stories that are all about love. Don't forget to follow Godly Chick Ministries on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at Godly Chick. That's GODLYCHIK. And always remember, when you know who's you walking with, it ain't hard to be a godly chick. Have a blessed day, and I look forward to having you all here with me next week. For my innocence,